All right, Mr. Fowler. This here is about a 14-pound brisket. The fat side is up. My family happens to like it. Most of the fat trimmed off. So even the fat end, I cut most of the fat out. I leave a little bit for marbling and whatnot. But all this that is mixture over it is simply a mixture of a cup of kosher salt, 3/4 cup of coarse black pepper. In my opinion, you'll want the coarse kosher salt and the coarse ground black pepper. All right, I've now brought it out to the grill. Excuse me, the smoker. You can see I've got my little humidity pod here, full. You can see it steaming. I like to put hot water in it. Temperature probe. It'll link to my phone. Just make sure that you have one where you can monitor the temperature. Got the pellet box completely full. And I like to, before I turn everything on, I like to give it a good misting. Get everything super humid inside my Traeger. So the meat, get it a little bit wet, as well as everything inside. In my opinion, the more humidity, the better. We're going to shut that down. Turn this baby on. I like to turn it on right here to the smoke setting. It'll start to crank up. That way the brisket is on there right as all the initial heavy smoke is going to start to come out, and it gets a little extra smoke flavor. As you can see, it's already starting to smoke ferociously, which is great. The Traeger itself is still only at about 47 degrees, but all of that's starting to smoke. So I leave it on this smoke setting for it's almost 6 o'clock in the evening, and at about 6 o'clock in the morning I will come and take it off the smoke setting. And then once I take it off the smoke setting, I'll put it at 225. Once you change it to 225, the brisket, it'll cook or it'll smoke until it'll have a stall at about 165 degrees. And once it comes out of that stall at about 170, I always go 171. That butcher paper, that tube of butcher paper that you take your butcher paper, wrap it around the brisket, put your thermometer probe back in the meat, and let it continue to smoke wrapped in your butcher paper until it hits 201. You do not take it off until 201. And then from there, I take it and I wrap it in saran wrap. And after it's all wrapped in saran wrap, I put it in a cooler, and I like to let it rest for at least 2 hours. And then after it's rested for 2 hours, you can either slice it, shred it, do whatever you want, but it will be unbelievable.